Hello, everybody. I've made a magic spreadsheet. See, this is an amalgam of everything that I know about or I've added so far. This is a heat map. Now, the way it works is that I have got a page for each component rabus in quotes. And you can have multiple colours. So I'd put the D in there with it because it's the only place that it gets used. Isle South, etc. Um, and I've got a large one that's a merge of everything, which that's just confusing. But it's interesting to see how much things are blocked up. There's the heat map, but more illustrative are these these sub views, which they contain this list of rabuses, rabus pages, and so. As you can see, we've got the Westminster, we've got RUs, and then each of the issues. And lies here is actually twice. Lies here is there, and then De Vere is the second one. So ear, and ear have all got lies here, De Vere. And when you hover on them, it'll tell you what they're in. And so this one is just De Vere. So. So that one I call burial. This one I call fourth T. And I mean, this is God the Geometer, I guess. Well, it is, isn't it? Yeah, I quite like that sort of masonry thing here on this. I don't know if there's anything else that should really go on that. And then I've made one called Secret, which is Alexander's Sine Proleem and the Hedvia's Paternity Lie, and then Reothersley I would across. So what I do is I italicize any of the proper nouns, any of the names, because they're very high value. And yeah, just a word on the stats. Reothersley, even though it's split up, is quite a heavy hitter and quite simple. We're just in diagonals and all, but actually there's less than three times as many, less than twice as many diagonals as there are verticals. So if you say, well, I'll have all verticals and all diagonals, it's less than, your chances are improved by less than a factor of three, which isn't going to make any difference. And I've done some work on that. It's very slippery. Things like Westminster, whilst obviously the chances of that turning up are virtually nil, actually proving it is not easy, because it's an anagram, but it's an irregular shape, and the number of irregular places, even if you're insisting on letters being next to each other, which we are in this instance, you still end up with you'd be amazed how many of these shapes you end up with. So just counting them is a pain in the neck. And then I've put the three eyes on one page to keep them away. I mean, they're obviously corroboration of the original message, the burial message. And then I've got one called Henri, which is currently work in progress, as I need the other Angevin cross, and also all these veers. I know there's those two there, which I'll put us together on one. If these things always turn up together, then I'll put them on one page. So I'll go through John's work, and kind of communicate with him via some method or other on this, and just see if we can try and at least get all this stuff in in one place and make it a bit easier to review. So that's that. That's my spreadsheet that I'm currently playing with. Now, yeah. So where am I with this monad? So yeah, what I found out was that from this line, which I initially wanted the monad to point onto the at the tau dot, I discovered that pixel perfect, the left hand but not the right hand side of this rule, is exactly a third of the distance from that line to the top of the square. So we'll just have a little look at that. This line, it's not. This has been was part of my rabbit hole. Why is this? Is it an accident or what? Well, as I say, if you carry that one along there, it will hit that. This one, wobbles around all over the show, and particularly on this side. And is that to obfuscate any unhorizontalness of that? Who knows? Now, the interesting thing then was that if I take the moon and extend it, we go straight through the eyes and then touch the top of the artwork. So this is fantastic. Surely we've got it. All we need to do now is line up on the famous and previously unexplained full stop, round about there, because you can't have a monad without a sun. So, and unfortunately we do. So whilst this is intriguing, the eyes and the top, and the fact that, it's exactly a third from here, we're not really pointing at anything here. Well, I guess we're pointing at the 6 ultimately. Well, we are. And we kind of finish still on the G, I guess, middle of nowhere on this. So, yeah, can't find it really. Damn. So that's that. Now, but I had a bit of, I wanted to moan a bit about accuracy. It is my opinion, but you can't muck around with the geometry. I'm getting ridiculous accuracy where it counts. And so, yeah, everybody's gone pentagon mad, which I'm so pleased by. But your pentagons have to be absolutely squeaky clean. A millimeter is on the outside. 2 millimeters, and no way. Right? If these guys meant a pentagon, then they meant a pentagon, and there will be less than a millimeter out on the typography. And yeah, so that brings me in terms of at this full stop as well. I should have forgotten. I got nowhere with the British Library. I replied to them and said, well, I'll need a high res. Can I send a photographer in? I didn't get a response to that, but I had a look at what they got. And of course, they don't have this. They've got, I think it's the John Wright Christchurch Gate version. And which the British Library want £8.50 for, and as it's rubbish, you can go and get it yourself, and blissfully unaware of any geometric encoding, and they've also, very irritatingly, put a full stop. I don't know if that's what that mark is supposed to mean. That's why they've put a full stop there. Or what? Is that a mark? Is that why they put a full stop? I just thought about that. I'd always been treating that as rubbish. What's going on there? But in terms of any, in terms of one of the arguments about this is that it's just subliminal. It's innate design genius, that these S's are exactly on an isometric triangle. Um, and well, if that's the case, the John Wright's typesetter didn't see that. So um, yeah, and so the British Library version is obviously going to be completely useless for any geometric work on the sonnets proper from page 3. Obviously, they've they've copied the TTs. They've made their own. It's their own versions of this. They're different. The fonts are remarkably similar, particularly this one. The font is a golden triangle. Again, the A is a golden triangle. Uh, uh, and so it's just intriguing about the fact that these copied these T's that is 4T, get it, an in joke around St. Paul's in the late, I think it's late 1690, 1610s that War believes that this other copy was made. But in terms of me getting any nearer to an electron microscope on these full stops, the British Library are of no use. Now, I'm not going to put this vlog entry on Facebook as yet, partly because my friends will think I'm barking mad, and I think I've worn out the Oxford with Shakespeare group. But what I am going to do now is make a Facebook group just for cryptography, where I can babble all I like. Yeah, that's about it. As I say, I'll put in the comments a link to that spreadsheet if you're interested in that. But I've still got a bit of work to do to collate everything that John has shown me, and I've probably got to fix the program as well, because it's making way too many calls to Google and running too slowly. Yeah, that's it. Okay.